My beloved child. There are moments when truth hides in plain sight, when silence becomes louder than any scream, and when the person you love the most is carrying a weight so heavy that even the universe feels it. Right now, you are standing at the edge of one of those moments. You sense something is off, but you cannot fully see it yet. Everyone around you knows. Every whisper in the air knows. Every pause in conversation knows. And still, you remain the only one who has not been told. Last night was not ordinary. Last night was not forgettable. Last night created a fracture in reality that cannot stay hidden for long. The person you love deeply did not simply go to sleep and wake up unchanged. Something happened that shifted their life, their future, and the direction of your connection forever. They are trying to breathe normally today. They are trying to smile normally today. They are trying to act like everything is fine. But nothing is fine. Something struck them so suddenly, so unexpectedly, that it left a mark no one can erase. The reason you are hearing this now is because your heart is connected to theirs in ways logic cannot explain. You were meant to feel the echo of what happened, even if no one spoke a word to you. This message is not here to scare you. It is here because truth has a way of finding the one person who actually cares enough to hold it. Listen closely now, because what you are about to understand will change how you see the past few days, the strange pauses, the missed calls, the delayed replies, and the heavy silence that followed the night you cannot forget even though you do not fully remember it yet. The person you love was not surrounded by comfort last night. They were not in a safe emotional space. They were not protected by routine or familiarity. Something came at them fast, without warning, without mercy, and without time to prepare. In that moment, fear did not scream. Fear went quiet. Their body reacted before their mind could catch up. Their thoughts scattered. Their breath shortened. And while others rushed in, while others saw what you were not allowed to see, your name stayed locked inside their chest. Not because they did not want you there, but because they believed protecting you meant staying silent. They believe that if you do not know, you cannot be hurt. They believe that if you stay unaware, you can stay safe. What they do not realize is that silence is hurting you anyway. It is hurting them too. They are carrying pain that was never meant to be carried alone. They are carrying fear that shows up in their eyes when they think no one is watching. They are carrying memories of last night that replay in fragments, never fully clear, never fully gone. And the hardest part is this. They are pretending nothing happened while their entire world is trying to recover from the shock. There is a reason everyone else knows. There is a reason conversations stop when you walk into the room. There is a reason phones are placed face down. There is a reason certain people suddenly act too kind or too careful around you. They are all holding the same secret. They are all carrying the same unspoken agreement. You are the last to know because you are the one who matters the most. That truth alone should tell you how serious this is. Last night was not just an incident. It was a turning point. It was the kind of moment that forces someone to reevaluate their entire life in seconds. When it happened, time slowed down. Sounds became distant. Faces blurred. And one thought kept repeating in their mind. Not regret. Not anger. not confusion. One thought only. You. Your face. Your voice. The things they still wanted to say to you. The moments they feared they might never get again. That realization hit them harder than what actually happened. It made them understand how fragile everything truly is. It made them realize how much they have been holding back, how much they have been avoiding, and how much truth they have been delaying. Everyone else saw the aftermath. You are about to understand the meaning behind it. Right now, they are in serious trouble, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally. Their body is healing slowly, but their mind keeps returning to that moment. They keep asking themselves why it happened the way it did. They keep wondering if it was fate, coincidence, or a warning they ignored. They keep replaying small decisions that led to that night, choices that seemed harmless at the time but now feel heavy with consequence. They are trying to act strong because they believe strength is silence. They believe love means protecting you from harsh realities. But love also means trust, and trust cannot survive in darkness forever. The distance you feel is not because they are pulling away from you. It is because they are fighting something inside themselves. Fear of losing you. Fear of worrying you. Fear of becoming a burden. Fear of being seen as weak. Fear of what happens if you finally know the truth. They are standing at a crossroads right now. One path leads to continued silence and slow emotional collapse. The other leads to honesty, vulnerability, and a bond that either breaks completely or becomes unbreakable. The choice they make next will not only affect them. It will affect you in ways you cannot yet imagine. Stay with this message, because this is only the beginning. What happened last night did not end when the night ended. The consequences are still unfolding. The truth is still moving toward you, whether they want it to or not. You were never meant to be kept in the dark forever. There is a reason you are feeling restless. There is a reason your heart feels heavy without explanation. There is a reason you cannot shake the feeling that something is wrong. Your intuition is not lying to you. The silence you are sensing is about to crack. And when it does, you will finally understand why everything has felt different since that night. What comes next will test loyalty, courage, and the depth of your connection. And once the truth fully surfaces, nothing between you will ever be the same again. My beloved child. What no one has told you yet is that the danger did not end when the night ended. The moment passed, but the consequences stayed behind like a shadow that refuses to leave. The person you love woke up this morning with their body intact enough to move, but their sense of safety shattered beyond recognition. Every sound feels sharper now. Every silence feels heavier. They keep replaying how close everything came to changing forever. They are not sleeping properly. They are not thinking clearly. They are moving through the day on instinct alone, doing what they must, saying what sounds normal, hiding what feels unbearable. And while others keep checking on them quietly, while others exchange looks that say more than words ever could, you are kept at a distance that was never meant for you. They believe distance is protection. They believe keeping you unaware is kindness. What they fail to see is that you are already carrying the weight of something unspoken. You feel it in your chest. You feel it in the way your thoughts keep circling back to them. You feel it in the quiet moments when your mind refuses to rest. That connection between you did not weaken. It activated. Understand this now. Last night forced them to confront a truth they have been avoiding for a long time. They realized how much they have been postponing important conversations. How many emotions they have been locking away. How often they assumed there would always be more time. When everything happened so suddenly, when control slipped from their hands in a single instant, they understood something terrifying and beautiful at the same time. Life does not warn you before it changes. Love does not wait until you are ready to protect it. In that moment, fear did not make them think about survival alone. Fear made them think about you. About unfinished words. About promises never spoken out loud. About how deeply you are woven into their sense of meaning. That realization shook them more than anything else. It made them understand that losing you, even emotionally, would be far more painful than any physical wound. That is why they are conflicted now. They want to reach out to you, but they are afraid of what honesty might trigger. They want to tell you everything, but they fear seeing worry in your eyes more than they fear their own pain. What makes this situation even heavier is the truth that the people around them already know more than they should. They saw vulnerability that was never meant to be seen. They witnessed fear that was never meant to be shared publicly. And now, unintentionally, they hold power over a story that belongs to you as much as it belongs to them. Some are silent out of respect. Some are silent out of fear. Some are silent because they do not know how to tell you without breaking something delicate. The tension you sense is real. It is growing. It is reaching a point where silence is no longer sustainable. The person you love is beginning to realize that keeping this from you is costing them peace. Every time they look at you, they feel guilt mixed with relief. Guilt for not telling you the truth. Relief that you are still here, still unaware, still looking at them the same way. But that relief does not last. It fades quickly, replaced by anxiety and emotional exhaustion. They are living in two realities at once. One where you know nothing. And one where everything changed in a single night. Holding both is breaking them slowly. There is something else you must know. What happened last night has awakened a protective instinct inside them that is stronger than ever before. They are watching their surroundings more carefully. They are questioning situations they once ignored. They are realizing that not everything around them is as harmless as it appears. This awareness is isolating them. It is making them quieter. It is making them more guarded. And because you are the person they trust the most, the silence toward you feels unnatural even to them. They keep rehearsing conversations in their head. They keep imagining how you might react. They fear your worry. They fear your questions. But most of all, they fear that once you know the truth, you will see them differently. They do not want to be seen as fragile. They do not want to be seen as someone who needs help. They want to remain strong in your eyes. They do not understand yet that true strength is allowing the right person to stand beside you when everything feels uncertain. This is the phase before the truth surfaces. The moment before everything shifts. The calm that feels heavy because it is carrying too much weight underneath. You are closer to the truth now than you realize. The signs are aligning. The silence is thinning. The emotional distance you feel is not a separation. It is a buildup. Something inside them is preparing to break open. And when it does, it will not be subtle. It will not be partial. It will be raw, honest, and impossible to ignore. The bond you share is about to be tested in a way it never has been before. Not by distance, not by misunderstanding, but by reality itself. What comes next will reveal whether this connection was meant to stay on the surface or go deeper than either of you ever planned. The truth is approaching you step by step. And when it finally reaches you, it will answer questions you did not even know you were asking. My beloved child. There is a moment that arrives quietly before every revelation, a moment when the heart starts preparing itself even before the mind understands why. You are standing inside that moment right now. The person you love is reaching the limit of what silence can carry. Each hour that passes makes the truth heavier, not lighter. Their body may appear steady, but inside, they are constantly alert, constantly tense, constantly reliving the second when everything went wrong. They are measuring every word they say to you. They are calculating every pause, every reply, every excuse for why they seem distant. And the truth is this. They are not distant from you. They are overwhelmed by how close you truly are. You are the one presence they cannot fake around. You are the one person who might notice the smallest crack in their voice, the slightest change in their eyes. That is why they hesitate. That is why they stall. Because once you see it, once you know, there is no going back to pretending that life is simple and safe. What happened that night created a fear they cannot name out loud. Not fear of pain. Not fear of memory. Fear of loss. Fear of finality. Fear of unfinished stories. They realized how quickly everything they value could disappear without warning. That realization did not leave them when the night ended. It stayed. It followed them into morning light. It followed them into conversations. It followed them into every quiet second where their thoughts were free to wander. And in those wandering thoughts, you were always there. They imagined what it would feel like if they never got the chance to tell you how deeply you matter. They imagined the sound of your voice if they could only hear it one more time. That thought alone shook them to the core. It forced them to confront emotions they had been postponing, feelings they had been trying to keep under control. They understand now that time is not promised. And because of that understanding, everything feels urgent, heavy, and fragile all at once. There is also a truth you have not considered yet. The people around them are not just silent observers. Some are beginning to worry about how long this secret can stay buried. They see the strain. They see the exhaustion. They see how the weight of silence is changing them. And quietly, without saying it directly, pressure is building. Someone will eventually slip. Someone will eventually say too much or reveal too little in a way that makes the truth impossible to ignore. The person you love knows this. That is why their anxiety is growing. They are racing against something they cannot control. They want the truth to come from them, not from someone else. They want to be the one to look at you and explain what happened, why it happened, and how close everything came to falling apart. But courage does not arrive instantly. It builds slowly, painfully, through inner conflict and fear. And they are still in the middle of that battle. At the same time, something inside them is changing in a way that cannot be undone. They are reassessing priorities. They are questioning risks they once took lightly. They are rethinking relationships that no longer feel safe or honest. And most importantly, they are redefining what you mean to them. Not in words yet, but in awareness. You are no longer just someone they care about. You are someone they do not want to face uncertainty without. That realization is powerful, but it is also terrifying. Because once they admit that to themselves, silence becomes unbearable. It becomes a wall between what they feel and what they are showing you. And walls like that eventually crack. When they do, everything behind them rushes out at once. This is the stage where everything feels suspended, where answers are close but not yet spoken. You may notice their gaze linger longer than usual. You may notice moments where they almost say something and then stop. You may notice an urgency beneath their calm. None of that is accidental. It is the truth trying to surface. What happened last night set off a chain of events that cannot be paused. The next step is approaching, whether they are ready or not. And when it arrives, it will demand honesty, vulnerability, and courage from both of you. This is not the end of the story. This is the breath taken right before the truth is finally spoken. My beloved child. The truth has reached the point where it can no longer remain quiet without causing damage. What the person you love is experiencing now is not just fear. It is pressure. Pressure from memories that return uninvited. Pressure from eyes that watch them closely. Pressure from knowing that every moment of silence increases the risk of losing you emotionally. They wake up each day with a single question repeating in their mind. How much longer can I carry this alone? They have started to realize that silence is not neutral. Silence is choosing distance over connection. Silence is choosing control over trust. And every time they choose silence, it costs them something they cannot replace. You. Your closeness. Your understanding. Your presence. They feel it slipping, not because you are leaving, but because they are holding back the truth that could bring you closer. What you do not see is how often they almost reach out. How many times they type a message and delete it. How many times they rehearse words that never leave their mouth. They are afraid that once they tell you everything, the image you have of them will change forever. They fear being seen as vulnerable instead of strong. They fear being seen as human instead of invincible. But what they do not understand yet is that your bond was never built on perfection. It was built on authenticity. And authenticity cannot survive without honesty. The weight they carry is beginning to show in subtle ways. Their patience is thinner. Their smile fades quicker. Their energy drains faster. These are not signs of weakness. These are signs of someone who has been holding too much for too long. There is another layer to this moment that makes it even more intense. The truth they are hiding is not just about what happened. It is about what it made them realize. They understand now that they have been living as if tomorrow is guaranteed. They understand now that some risks are not worth taking. They understand now that certain connections deserve more care, more honesty, and more courage. You are at the center of that realization. They are beginning to see you not as someone who can wait, but as someone who deserves clarity. That realization is powerful, but it also demands action. And action means stepping into discomfort. It means choosing truth even when it feels frightening. The tension you feel right now is not imagination. It is alignment. Everything is moving toward a moment of honesty. Conversations are lining up. Circumstances are shifting. Opportunities to speak are appearing more frequently. The person you love feels this momentum too. They know the moment is coming when silence will no longer feel possible. When looking at you without telling you the truth will hurt more than speaking it. That moment is closer than you think. And when it arrives, it will not come gently. It will come with emotion, with intensity, and with a need to be understood. This is the final stretch before everything changes. The calm you are sensing is not peace. It is preparation. The truth is no longer waiting in the shadows. It is stepping forward, slowly but deliberately. What happens next will not just reveal what occurred. It will reveal how deep this connection truly runs. And once the truth is spoken, there will be no returning to how things were before. Only moving forward, together or apart, with clarity instead of silence. My beloved child. There comes a point when holding the truth becomes more painful than releasing it, and the person you love is standing exactly at that point now. The weight they have been carrying is pressing against their chest, tightening their breath, blurring their focus. They are realizing that silence is no longer protecting anyone. It is only delaying the inevitable. Every time they look at you, they feel the distance growing thinner, like a fragile wall that could collapse with a single honest sentence. They know that once they speak, everything will change. But they also know that if they do not speak, something even more precious will slowly fade away. Trust. Connection. The sense of safety you both once felt without effort. They are beginning to understand that love cannot survive on avoidance. Love demands courage, especially when the truth is uncomfortable. What happened that night left them with more than fear. It left them with clarity. A clarity that stripped away illusions and forced them to see what truly matters. They are no longer distracted by trivial worries. Their mind keeps returning to the same realization. If everything can change in a single moment, then honesty cannot wait. They are starting to question why they believed they had to be strong alone. Why they assumed carrying pain privately was noble. Why they thought shielding you from reality would somehow preserve the connection. Deep down, they know now that the opposite is true. Real connection is built when two people face reality together, not when one hides in silence and the other senses something is wrong. This understanding is unsettling them because it demands a choice they can no longer postpone. There is a shift happening inside them that you may already feel. A softening. A vulnerability that was not there before. They are less guarded in their thoughts, less certain in their defenses. They are beginning to imagine what it would feel like to finally tell you everything. To let the words fall without filters. To stop pretending that last night was just another night. The fear of your reaction still exists, but something stronger is rising beside it. The need to be honest. The need to be real. The need to stop living in fragments and return to wholeness. They are preparing themselves emotionally for a conversation that will change the direction of your bond. They may not fully know how to start it yet, but they know they cannot avoid it much longer. You should understand this clearly. When the truth comes, it will not be casual. It will not be brief. It will not be easy. It will come with emotion they have been suppressing since that night. It will come with vulnerability they have never shown you before. And it will come with a fear of losing you that is far deeper than anything they have felt until now. They will not be asking for pity. They will be asking for understanding. They will not be seeking drama. They will be seeking relief. Relief from carrying something that was never meant to be carried alone. The moment they finally speak, you will see a side of them that has been hidden not out of dishonesty, but out of fear of hurting you. This is the turning point. The moment before honesty finally steps into the open. Everything that has been building since that night is about to converge into a single conversation, a single decision, a single truth. When it happens, you will understand why the silence felt so heavy, why the distance felt so unnatural, and why your intuition refused to let you rest. The truth is no longer a question of if. It is a question of when. And when it arrives, it will redefine everything you thought you knew about them, about yourself, and about the depth of what you share.